Well, hello, it's Bob Baker here. Oops, hang on a second. Let me flip this light on. I just realized I didn't do that. Hello, happy Friday to you. Good Friday morning or whatever time of day it is where you're watching this. In this live video, I'm going to be covering how to overcome negativity. Sound good? And manifest your goals. I'm going to be answering some questions that were submitted by some of my viewers and email subscribers over this, just in recent days. And I've selected some and grouped them together. And yeah, we're going to talk about how to overcome negativity, with something we all struggle with, and also how to manifest our goals, or specifically your goals. I see we already have some folks chiming in there. Well, hi. Yeah, awesome. Let's say hi to Cynthia and Maritza, perhaps. Is it Carolee? Awesome. Oh, cool, cool. I recognize some names. Oh, you're watching from Mexico City. In fact, I'm going to ask you to do that right now. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, if you're watching, go ahead and leave a comment. Say hi and let me know where you're watching from, because I'm just amazed by this global community that we have here. And it's so cool to be able to reach people around the world here. Wow, look at this. I got Erica, we got Karen and Dina and Michelle. There was that Chakra TV. Awesome. So yeah, I'm doing this in a different location than I did last week. I was on my iPhone in the basement of my home. This time I'm in my home office and I'm on a webcam, so I'm using a different setup. But everybody can hear me all right. Just kind of give me a thumbs up. The audio, I'm hoping, should be pretty good. Just let me know as we go along here. Listening from Canada, we got West Palm Beach, Florida, New York. A couple of folks from New York. We got Miami, Florida's in the house. Houston, Texas, Atlanta. Awesome. You're responding to me, so it sounds like you can hear me. All right. So just let me know at any time. I just want to give you also a heads up that I've been having some issues with my modem, and it just periodically throughout the day will just decide to reboot. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, sending some positive energy from the modem gods that the modem will hang in there. But if for some reason I suddenly, you lose the signal, I'm either going to just wait for it to reboot, or I'll just go live on my phone. Anyway, those are some upfront things here. Who else is in the house? Baltimore, Cleveland. What's it sounds like a rock and roll song? Maryland, Los Angeles. So a lot of folks in the U.S., I guess, because of the time here. Cyprus. Oh, that's cool. Taiwan. Oh, that's so awesome. Fantastic. A couple of things I want to ask you to do while you're all chiming in here. It's another reason I'm doing the webcam version here, because I can actually see more of the comments as they come in compared to on my phone. So awesome. So again, we're going to be talking about overcoming negativity and manifesting your goals. Couple of things I just want to ask you to do. You can either do it now or just make a note to do this soon after the broadcast. But I know a lot of people who watch my videos are not subscribers. In fact, it's like 75. I forgot what the percentage is, but a good chunk of people that actually watch and consume my my affirmation recordings and so on YouTube are actually not even subscribed to the channel. So if that describes you, be sure and subscribe to the channel, and hit the little notification bell there so you get notifications. I don't want you to miss new videos. I post like 3 a week. Lately, I've been doing 2 uploads and then 1 live video, and I'll keep doing that pace as long as everyone's happy with it. So please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you don't, I'm offering 6 free downloads of some of my favorite guided meditations and affirmations. And I know many of you are already on that you get on an email list. You have to sign up for it, but I give you 6 free downloads, and then every week I'll send you an update on some of my latest stuff to inspire and empower you. But to get those free downloads, you just go to bobbakerinspiration.com, bobbakerinspiration.com, and that'll allow you to sign up and get those, and then you'll start hearing from me on a more regular basis. We got somebody from India. Man, what time is it in India? There's multiple time zones across that country, but yeah, it's I appreciate you tuning in. Somebody from from San Diego. Fantastic. A couple of folks from India. Yay. Also, so in case you don't know, it's 18 so that'd be like 18, 12. It's like 6 in the morning, perhaps. You're ahead, right? Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for getting up early if that is the case. I have a lot of listeners actually from India, so I'm thrilled to be reaching you. So real quickly about me, I know a lot of you just listen to my affirmation recordings and guided meditations and so on, but I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, which is in the Midwest of the USA. And in addition to doing the recordings that you're familiar with, I've been involved in the arts for most of my life. I'm a musician, a singer, and a songwriter. I put out many albums of original music. So quite often, the music that you're hearing in the background is something that I created, either electronically or with my guitar. Perhaps, but most of it lately has been electronic. And that's one of the reasons, actually, when I started creating these things, it was out of a frustration that I had of finding guided meditations that I actually enjoyed. I'm very picky about the person's voice. And everybody resonates with a different sound and a different personality, and so and often the background music in some of the things I was seeking out was either too busy or too loud or whatever. So I decided to create my own, using my own voice and my own music, and apparently it's resonating with many of you. Oh, we also have Morocco. We got Vermont here. Oh, Karen asks, is that your artwork behind you? As a matter of fact, it is. I was trying to position myself so my head was right in between them. But yeah, actually, that's Amy Winehouse over there. I do a lot of celebrity portraits, and that's just a kind of an abstract jazz of a handless piano player that I did over there. So thank you for asking. I saw your Brady Bunch spoof. Yeah. If you go through the archives of my channel, you'll find a lot of crazy variety of stuff from my music and comedy. So yeah, I'm a musician. I'm a writer. I've written and published 15 physical books and another couple dozen audiobooks, ebooks, online courses, workshops. But a lot of my work over the years has been geared toward inspiring and educating creative people. So musicians, artists, writers, actors. I also teach and perform improv here in St. Louis, improv comedy. I don't know how widespread that is in other countries, but if you've ever seen the show, Whose Line Is It Anyway? So yeah, I'm all about like inspiring and empowering people, and also bringing some lightheartedness into our lives. So it's kind of a mission, and maybe I'll come back. So, so thanks a lot. Tennessee and Alabama, also, and Maryland, yeah, are in the house. So, so that's about me. Also, I'm getting this audio slowly but surely into the Spotify, the digital, in the digital, what's typically digital audio or the music platform. So if you're on Spotify or Apple or Google Play or whatever, you can seek out Bob Baker's Inspiration Project. You can also catch some of my stuff there. So again, this week I asked for suggestions, got a lot of them, and I'm going to get to as many as possible here, but it won't be everyone. So if you submitted a question that I don't get to, just know that I saw it, and it may be on a future Q&A Friday. Sound good? Lightheartedness is necessary on this dense plane. Yeah, well, adults in particular. I think we're all, or most of us, are lighthearted and playful when we're kids, and as we get older, we just, we lose sight of that creativity and that playfulness. And I'm all about bringing it back. Nice to see a fellow. Oh yeah, we got the Baltimore people talking to each other. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, checking in. All right, cool. So one little disclaimer here. I'm so glad that so many of you appreciate the affirmation videos, and I know people come to this or seek this stuff out for many different reasons, just to improve your life. But also people come here when they're experiencing some pain or some frustrations or challenges in their life, and this can definitely be helpful. I just want to say up front, if I'm not like a what do you call it, a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, a psychotherapist. I'm just a guy who has been on a lifelong journey of personal development. And so I benefited greatly from other authors and speakers and recordings. And so I'm just using my gifts, my voice, in my music to inspire others. But if you are really on the extreme of depression, if you're considering harming yourself or others, if you're please don't just rely on affirmations. I'm just going to say to seek out professional help, a therapist, or definitely talk to people in your world. Because I just want you to get the most help that you possibly can. So anyway, let's kind of jump into these questions. I kind of grouped them together. Are you ready? I just want to check out here. We got Switzerland, we got Indiana. Man, your attitude and voice are so uplifting. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Awesome. So I'm going to read these two questions probably back to back and then talk about them just a little bit here. And so Teresa C says how to keep a positive mindset when your thoughts go off track to negative thoughts, or you find yourself asking, why me? Okay, so that's one of them. And then, maybe I can just address that. Why me? So why me is kind of putting yourself into victim mode. And so I'm sure it's no secret to most of you listening to this, but let's go ahead and hit it anyway, just in case it isn't, that anytime you position yourself, you think of yourself, you reinforce some idea that you are a victim, it's not the most empowering place to be. And you probably realize that, which is why you're seeking out these more uplifting messages. But the awareness of why me. There's another situation where I've heard the term why me come up, and that's when people are aspiring, like for instance, like I said, I've worked a lot with creative folks. I'm a creative person myself, and a lot of artists will downplay their gifts. Who am I to think that I could be a writer? Why me? Why should I? Could I be successful as a musician or an actor or a visual artist? And so I I actually encourage you to add another word to that. And let me first explain it here. So every month, there's always I'm always hearing about the new breakout artist in different fields. There's somebody that seems to come out of nowhere and they're suddenly getting a buzz, whether it's a musician or an artist or whatever, or a new author, just has this hit, or at least a modest hit. It doesn't have to be a bestseller to be successful. So there's always a new crop of people, a new generation of people every month, every year that you hear about that are creating this buzz. And so instead of saying, well, why me, add the word not, which I would normally encourage you to stay away from a negative word like not, but why not you? Why not? The people that you hear about that are creating a buzz, that are succeeding in whatever that definition is, they have all the gifts and talents that you do. They didn't have any, they didn't come out of the womb as a successful author or successful musician. So you have just as much right or an opportunity as anyone else to break through and do whatever it is you want to do. I'm just using a bestseller or being a success in your field as an example, but there are many ways to be successful without having to be widely known. But I think the why me that Teresa is referring to is more like, why is all this stuff happening to me? But just be aware of that victim mode that you're getting into. I'm going to have some other tips here in just a moment. Shamanti Serene submitted this. She goes, I am doing meditation regularly. How can I totally get free from all the fears, doubts, and negative thoughts all the time? Whenever I face some negative people, I feel bad and suffocated. How can I block these thoughts in my mind and always stay positive? So let me take a sip here and just check the comments. Oh, Teresa, you're on the line. Oh, awesome. Cool. Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for submitting it. Awesome. I'm glad that you're here. How to keep yourself always positive, not let negativity come in. Oh, somebody said the same thing. Namaste from Nepal. Oh, wow. You love my morning affirmations. And Carol, is it Carolee? Yours is coming up here in a little bit too. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please read my question too. Oh, I love your morning affirmations. Okay, cool. This kind of came up in last week's talk, but this is worth kind of diving into a little bit. This notion that I need to get totally free from fears, doubts, and negative thoughts. So here's the thing. No one is totally, well, maybe there, I shouldn't say no one. There may be some people that claim this. I know with myself, another thing that I've done over the years is I've interviewed in my work as an author, I've interviewed literally hundreds and hundreds of, I guess, successful creative people. Again, musicians, artists, authors, many over the decades. And so I can say this not from my personal experience, but the many people that are people that are idolized or looked up to. That I have not ridden myself. I am not totally free of doubts, fears, of negative thoughts, and neither are all these people that I talk to that I've interviewed. We just learn to live with them. We learn to sort of like put them in their place. We learn to just get on friendly terms with them. And actually, you can. I did a video that maybe I'll link to where I talked about fear and different ways that you can relate to it. So one way is being resistant to it. So this whole idea of I'm gonna eradicate it from my life puts you sort of like in this resistance mode. And you probably heard the term, what you resist persists. I don't know what you think about that, but yeah, sometimes when you fight against something, and there's one thing you can do is you can disrespect it. You can yell at it, and whenever you have those thoughts, go away. But another approach is just to ask it. Sometimes I've found that fear actually is trying to help you. It's your brain just trying to make you aware of something. I used an example of one of my books when I was my girlfriend and I were driving through, was it the Rocky Mountain National Park in Denver? And we were really, really high, and we were next to these, we were high in altitude wise. And we were going along these roads where there was a drop off right, to the right of the car, and I was obsessed with, oh my God, I better keep my eye on the road. And I started having these fears about what could happen, just awfulizing like a crash, and it was taking me out of the moment. All this beauty was around me, and I realized I was kind of like stuck in this like fear, like, oh my God, we're so high. What happens if we run out of gas? And then I just kind of took a deep breath and I said, okay, what are you trying to tell me? I'm acknowledging that I'm feeling these fearful thoughts. What's the lesson here? And basically, it was just said, I just want you to be safe. You've got a lot of work to do. You need to have a legacy. You want to leave. You want to live a long life. So just be careful. You don't want taking your eye off the road for a second to lead to some kind of tragedy. So I said, okay, that's a worthwhile thing. I acknowledged it, and it sort of dissipated. And then I could watch the road with a little bit more comfort and admire the beauty around me. So sometimes acknowledging it and ask what the lesson is, what's it trying to tell you, will help it go away. But other things you can do is just, there's other thing that I do is to give it a silly like cartoon voice. Sometimes when you're taking it too seriously, I got this idea from Julia Cameron, who wrote a book called The Artist's Way, and she actually gives the little inner critic voice a character. I forgot what she called it. I forgot. It was some kind of it was like a British hoity-toity kind of person who said, who are you to think you're a writer? And she made it like cartoonish, and so she couldn't take it seriously when she gave it, like it made it a character. So that's another way. So how can you just acknowledge it, not fight it, but can you coexist with those fears? Acknowledge them, says thanks for the lesson, now go sit in the corner, I have work to do, I have my life to live. And so that's just something there to think about. Let me just take a look at the comments here. How do you deal with users? Is there any other way to deal with negative people? All right, cool. Glad you're able to catch the live today. All right. So basically, and another thing is, which people worry about, beat themselves up if they have a negative thought. I'm having negative thoughts. Oh, I'm failing at this. No, you're not. You're human. We all have these thoughts. The thing is, what is your set point, or what is your predominant thought? And that can shift over time, because when you're sort of like unconsciously going through your life, it's really easy to focus on the negative, and you find yourself wallowing in this, in what's wrong, which is probably why you're seeking out these affirmation videos to improve that. And then you think, well, but I'm still having the negative thoughts. That's okay. It's like, can you shift the percentage? Like, maybe you're at a point where it's 80% negative and 20% positive, however you rate that. Can you shift it to when 70-30? So it's not like you're not eradicating them. You're getting on friendly terms with them, and you're lessening the percentage of you wallowing in those thoughts. And here's another thing. Awareness of these thoughts is like the first step to transformation. So quite often people go through their lives on autopilot, and you're having these negative thoughts and you're not even like aware of that's like your dominant thing. So when you start doing affirmations or you start doing personal development work, suddenly you're aware of it. And maybe because you're aware of it, you're going, oh no, I'm totally negative. I'm never going to overcome this. But awareness is the first step to transforming it. So maybe you're just in that early stage of finally being aware, or you should pat yourself on the back and feel good that you're taking steps to become aware of it and take steps to shift your set point or your dominant vibration. And over time, like I said, that can shift, which is the benefit of feeding. In fact, I think I have a video that's going to go live on Monday, where I talk about the purpose of affirmations. Why do we do them? I already recorded it, but I'm going to have to edit it and upload it. But that's kind of the gist of it. Is you're feeding your mind with positivity that's going to shift your predominant way of thinking and looking at the world. So yeah. And then there's also a thing where again, once you have this awareness, there's an evolution that takes place where you have a negative thought or you say something negative to someone, and then later, whether it's 5 minutes later, an hour later, you realize, oh geez, I went into that mode, and then you can come back and apologize to the person or just make a vow to do it better. And then you're realizing it like a minute or 5 minutes after you think that thought. Then you get to the point where you're realizing it in the middle of the thought or whatever you're saying. And then you eventually get to the point where you catch yourself before it even comes out of your mouth. And so you close the gap on how it affects your behavior. So if you're in that evolution where you're still closing the gap, it's okay. Just keep doing it. Keep trying to raise your vibration and catch yourself. Again, don't eradicate negative thoughts or resist them or beat yourself up for thinking them. Acknowledge them, ask what the lesson is, and then try to replace it with something more positive. Okay, cool. One more thing here, and I may not get to all these questions because I'm spending a lot of time on the early ones. Also, if you think about your state of mind, think of it on a graph. Let's say we have a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is kind of the low point. You're feeling bad. You're feeling negative. And 10 is where you're just on fire. You're happy. You're joyful. So we don't live in a world of extremes. There's a whole lot of gray areas there. And so let's say that you're feeling like you're at a 3 or a 4, or you're at a 3. Let's just say you're not totally depressed. You're just kind of down, apathetic, or whatever. To think that you can go from 3 to 10 in 2 seconds, or just because you listen to an affirmation recording, maybe you can. I don't want to say that you can't do that, but that's quite a leap. So I know Abraham Hicks talks about this a lot, is like taking baby steps up the notch. If you're at a 3, can you get to a 4? Or can you get from a 3 to a 5? So it's not about don't beat yourself up because you're not ecstatically joyful at every minute of every day, because we're humans. We're going to have this kind of roller coaster ride. But can you just lift it up just a notch or two? And that alone can be beneficial. So I think you see all this kind of playing in here. Appreciate you putting yourself out there and the material you make, says Joseph. Use your affirmations and like an acknowledge it, squash the bug, and replace the thought. Okay, you should teach awareness and mindfulness in school. Yeah, I'm gonna check out definitely all of these comments later, so I'm not gonna catch all of them as they run by. All right, cool. So I'm going to go on to a question from Alexandra Schmidt. She sent me this. She goes, "Hi, Bob. Could you explain how to make the most out of your affirmation videos? I tried a couple times and I don't know why, but there's something blocking me." I just know deep down that the affirmations aren't true for me right now. And I think that kind of kills the process. Any tips, any advice? Thank you for all your wonderful videos. Well, you're welcome. Alexandra, I don't know if you're on. I don't think I've seen your name pop up there, but that's a great one. And so I have to admit myself, let me take another drink here. By the way, good morning. I'm having a little coffee here. Uh, Let me know what you're drinking or consuming this morning or afternoon or wherever you are. Mm, cool. Um, so I have to admit, again, I've been on this personal. I first meditated, in like when I was like in high school age, and I just been reading and consuming personal development stuff, and just trying to personal growth for a long time. Coffee, yes, says Ray. Awesome, cool. And Donna also enjoys Abraham Hicks. Very, very cool. Oh, Teresa, who I've used her question, says, I now realize when my thoughts goes into those negative paths and I find myself saying words of positivity. Cool, cool. So yeah, continue to do that without feeling bad about the negative thoughts. Just acknowledge them, but don't give them any more. Don't make them into like a villain when they might just be like a bratty kid. You know, it's like, again, maybe giving them that character. If you give them the power, if you give them a microphone, the negative thoughts, if you pump them up to be something that they're not, then yeah, it's always going to be, you're always going to be fearful of that. But just make them another character, some kind of like a snotty kid or just an annoying little voice in your head that has some purpose, but you don't want to obsess about what that voice is telling you, if that makes sense. So anyway, when I first started doing affirmations years ago, I felt silly too. My God, this is so goofy. I'm so corny. And you know, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. It doesn't feel authentic, or it didn't to me either. When I was first doing it, and even when I first started recording them too, I was like, oh my God, what are my readers going to think of me putting this stuff out there? So all these things are in my head too. But I did it anyway. So here's the thing. Yeah, if you're saying things, I don't know exactly what type of affirmation she was discussing, because I have them on all kinds of topics. Let's just start off with abundance. If you're listening to an abundance affirmation with the intention of bringing in more money, which most people do, which many people do, I should say, saying I am abundant, I am prosperous, when you're having trouble paying your bills, it feels unauthentic, which is why I try to go out of my way to explain that abundance comes in many forms. So the thing is to maybe you have to do some personalized or customized affirmations on your own that you can feel authentic about. So if I am abundant, doesn't feel right, because you're attaching it to the money aspect, and you know the money's not there right now. What can you say about abundance? How about I live in an abundant world? Isn't that true? Have you ever looked around you? I mean, I know, like, here it's springtime, or no, it's summer now in the part of the world where I am, and I have to mow my lawn, you know, every week or so, and there's all this growth that we have to, you know, to cut back and maintain for our neighbors. And that just happens automatically. This nature just we live in an abundant world. There's sunshine. Well, the sun is shining every day. There's animals that and yeah, I just could go outside on some days and get swarmed by insects, which is not one of my favorite things. And I said, this is an abundant world. There are abundance of plants, there are abundance of growth and life. And so just focus on the can you what statements can you say that are true? Maybe like if you're saying I'm optimistic, I'm positive, when you're feeling depressed, that doesn't feel authentic. How about saying something like I love the feeling of being happy? So if maybe you're trying to get a more positive outlook on life, but you're not feeling it right now, there has been many times in your life. Think about memories, and a warm memory of being happy and laughing with friends. And then you can say, I love the feeling of being happy. That will ring true. So focus on what you can affirm with authenticity, and that'll just raise your vibration, and then you can slowly work your way up to those other things. So maybe you just have to do some personalized affirmations, or thinking of other aspects of it. Can you say I am abundant without having to attach it to what's currently in your bank account. I am worthy of abundance. That's another tough thing, is feeling worthy about it. But you can be worthy of it without having it there in this particular second. And the same thing with health and relationships. I love the feeling of being in love or whatever, whether you have a partner now or not. And so, yeah, find a way to affirm something that is true, that's positive, that will remind you and uplift you, and then maybe work your way up that stair step it up. Thank you for your starring for you for sharing your videos. You're welcome, Mary. And at first it was not normal when we feel we're not enough. Keep doing this. Yeah, like the Nursing Chronicles with Monique. At first it's not normal when we feel we are not enough. But keep doing the affirmations. Awesome. Something is a block. I want to manifest. I was saying I love the feeling of abundance. I love the feeling of joy. Okay, cool. Thanks for that, Michelle. Yeah. What does it mean when you're going through? All right, cool. So I'm just gonna do a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. So I think, I hope it's Caroli. Carolee. That's the way I'm pronouncing it. Brad. I see you pop up a lot. I know you were on earlier. Hopefully you're still there. Maybe post a comment if you are. But I see, I see you comment a lot on my stuff, which I really appreciate. So she says, "Hi." I'm assuming maybe I shouldn't assign a gender there. I'm not sure if it's, but Carolee says, "Hi, Bob. Can you talk about how to stay focused on manifesting your goals?" And then someone that went by Balance 0212 says, "Hi, can you address how to eradicate the stuck procrastination mindset?" So this is about, manifesting your goals. I'm going to address these and then wrap things up here. I talk about staying focused and manifesting your goals. So the affirmations that we do, this feeding our minds with positivity, again, getting in that abundance mindset, is totally crucial. And I mentioned this last week, I believe, too, in the live broadcast, that I'm a big proponent. I think it's great to have one foot in the mental and vibrational area, and then another foot on the ground in the 3D world, where you take action and where you have to be aware of how your behavior, acting on that positive vibration, is crucial. I don't believe you can maybe it's possible with some people that have a high enough vibration, but I know, but I don't know if just sitting there, affirming that money is coming to you without doing something in the 3D world, it is always the best thing. So I'm all about the practical aspects of this too. And so these are just simple things. So in addition to having clear, specific goals that you want to achieve, print out reminders. So in addition, you sit down every morning or whenever it is, and you listen to these, which is great. And you maybe at the beginning of your day, which is an excellent way to have a foundation. Then you launch into your day, and then you can get away from that feeling, or you go on to your routine and your family and your jobs. But can you print out reminders? Are there things that you can do that will remind you of this goal? Maybe in your house, it's the bathroom mirror or the refrigerator door, at work or in your car. Maybe hang them from the what do you call that, the visor, or somewhere in your car while you'll see them. So constant visual, physical reminders of the goal, just to sort of keep reinforcing throughout your day. I am manifesting whatever that is. And also, not being attached maybe to the physical, like, what is the underlying feeling? Like whenever you set a goal, when you say, I desire this thing, what is the feeling that you want? Is it's really not the thing that we're after. It's the feeling we anticipate that achieving that thing or getting that thing is going to give us. So identifying what that feeling is and feeling it now, or just how can I feel that way in my life, while I'm attracting this more physical, specific thing. That's another important things. Having a success partner, sometimes called an accountability partner, can be really crucial. So don't always think you have to do this on your own. I know sometimes our friends and our family members aren't always the most supportive. I hope that's not your case. But do you have a friend or another person going on a similar journey with you, someone who supports you, that you can check in with, even if it's like once a week, where you talk about your progress, they cheer you on, and maybe you do this for each other. Yeah, usually that is the case. Someone who also needs some support, and you talk however often you feel that you need to talk. But the more often, especially early on, the more powerful this can be. But you talk to each other, you talk about your progress, you cheer each other on, and then you tell the person, let's say you're meeting every week, between now and the next time we talk on Thursday or whenever it is, I'm going to do these 3 simple things. And that way, excuse me, when you have committed and spoke to somebody else about it, it kind of, I think you're more willing sometimes to do something for someone else, or it gives you a little more leverage than if you just had it's a goal that's in your head. Also, write down your goals again in the and print them out. So the success partner thing can be really powerful. Publicly posted on social media or wherever, that this is a goal I've set. Keep asking me about this, folks. So this kind of I don't want to use the word pressure in a negative way, but apply some leverage, I guess, to get you to do those things. And then again, the person who goes by balance talked about how to eradicate the stuck procrastination mindset. So that's the thing. You can set a goal and you can affirm and commit to doing some regular activity toward it, but you have to actually do the activity. And so there's a couple of things. Oh, one thing is to put it on your calendar. Like a lot of things, like especially our passion projects. Like if you want to write a book, or you want to write some songs, or a certain number of pieces of art for an upcoming show. These things that we do for ourselves, our personal ambitions, are often things that we get around to when we have time. So, the things that get the priorities are things that we do for our jobs, you got to pick up the kids from school. Maybe you have a doctor appointment, or you got to get the oil changed on the car, so these things we put on the calendar. And then the passion stuff, or the things that are really important to us long term, are just kind of like floating out there. Oh, when I have some extra time, I'll work on that. And quite often the time never comes. So put those things, the actions that you're going to take, even if it's just 20 minutes or whatever, put it actually on your calendar. A friend of mine says if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. So give it the same priority as the other things that, your obligations and responsibilities in life, and block out times of the week, because this is where I'm going to write. And if you could do this on a daily basis, like if you're writing a book, being able to spend even a half hour on it every day is much better than waiting till you have a whole afternoon to write. At least that's what I found. It kind of gets you into a flow. It develops a new habit. And once you develop that habit, suddenly the time is expanding that you spend on that thing. So put it on the calendar. And then for procrastination, I call it the 5-minute trick. So if you've been putting off writing that book, or writing the song, or whatever it is, or whatever it is that you're just sitting down to plan your life, just tell yourself, I'm going to spend 5 minutes on it. That's all. I can find 5 minutes to sit down and just work on this thing. And here's what often happens is that, especially let's take writing as an example. I have done this with myself, where I have to write this article and I just don't feel like it, because I used to publish my own newspaper and had deadlines and all that. I would sit down and I write a sentence. I'm just not feeling this, but okay, here's an opening sentence. And I go, oh, that's an interesting turn of phrase. Okay, let me write another sentence. And then suddenly I thought, oh, wow, this is a cool way that I could approach this. And then before you know it, I'm in the flow and I'm writing. And then like 30 minutes has gone by. And now I'm making progress. So sometimes you have to just fake yourself out. Also, just to commit to spending a little bit of time, and it may expand. And even if it doesn't, you have at least succeeded. You could pat yourself on the back that you sat down and worked on that thing. And maybe inspiration doesn't come that time, but maybe it will next time. Also, read Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art, where he talks a lot about resistance. And we all face the resistance and the distractions that keep us from the important work that we need to do. So I hope this has been helpful. Just let me take a quick look. When something is blocked, I'm going to manifest instead. I'm saying, okay, I think I read that earlier. I'm glad to. Mike says, I'm glad to have stumbled on your morning affirmations. I'm glad you did too. Donna says, thank you, Bob. Off to work. Off to water aerobics. Oh, yes, please. Yes, take care. Carol, are you there? Yes, I am still here. Female. Okay, cool. Thanks for the feedback on my question. You are welcome. I hope that was helpful. You have, oh, wow. She says something like crying. Christine says crying during some of the I am affirmations. Yeah, I hope that's that's a good thing. Or tears of joy. Oh, Lisa says, good morning, Bob. I love the paintings behind you. You probably heard earlier. Those are actually that's my artwork. So thanks a lot, everyone. I'm going to probably update this when after the as far as the thumbnail and all that stuff and the description here. So I appreciate you tuning in. Do you like this? Should I continue doing these Friday morning live streams? I would love to do that. I'll be soliciting more of your questions in the weeks ahead. So have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend. Yes, I will talk to you soon. Subscribe to the channel. Get those 6 free downloads if you haven't got them all yet at bobbakerinspiration.com. That's bobbakerinspiration.com to sign up for it. I'll send you the links, and then every week I'll send you an update on some of my latest videos and all that. So appreciate you all. All right, take care. As I often end some of my videos or my recordings, this is Bob Baker saying so long for now.